Introduction. It is a soft time of evening. On Dada's porch, we listen to the sounds that attend the approaching night. People speaking softly as they pass along the roadway. Children's laughter, dogs barking, three baby crying and being comforted. In nearby houses, kitchen sounds of pots being moved, water being poured. We sit with our cups of sweet tea watching the shadows lengthen, the colors dissolving into darkness. We see each other silhouetted against the last night, and then it is just our disembodied voices that appear to float in a blackness punctuated now and then by the striking of a match or the glow of Dada's cigarette. The conversation is quiet. The silence often conveyed more than the words. We are savoring stories about our Guru, Neem Karoli Baba. Maharaj Ji or Baba as his devotees call him. How he came, how he came into each of our lives, how our lives were changed by knowing him, what good sanskars allowed us to be in the presence of such a saint. We compare notes, report incidents in minute detail, struggle to find expression for our feelings about him. Each new story is an invitation to enter more deeply into the mystery. For to us, he represents enlightenment, freedom, God, Rama, Hanuman, Krishna, Shiva, the play of form, compassion itself, a beloved and wise grandfather, the closest member of our most intimate family. They say in India that God is like the sandal tree and the gurus are like the winds that diffuse the perfume throughout the atmosphere. We are intoxicated. Each of us knows him in our own unique way. Each thinks that the Maharaji he knows is the true Maharaji. But he is fooling all of us and seeing his many facets reflected through each other's stories and hearts. We come to know his play, to realize that his entities are infinite, and yet we still thirst to know him, to contain him with our minds. Oh, that we could be to him as Hanuman is said to be to Ram, his very breath. He is our home, he is the beloved, he is wisdom incarnate, he is grace itself. In these precious moments, there is suspension of the doubts or the disbeliefs born of mind. There is no judgment, only appreciation. The tones of our voices reflect faith, reverence, and wonder. Delight in being private to the cosmic joke, discomfiture at our own stupidity, and love so palpable that it is difficult to catch our breath. There are, of course, his miracles, his awakening of Kundali in others with a touch, his appearing in two places at the same time, his healing the sick and bringing the dead back to life. But those things are just the beckonings that entice us to the feast. Far dearer for us are the stories of his humanity, his sweetness, delicacy, rascality, tenderness, his childlike delight in our delight, his pain at our pain. In this in these timeless moments when we are together, egos are forgotten. We see it is not so important that he looked at us individually or spoke to us personally. For in relation to him, we are a single we. As he speaks to us, to one of us, he speaks to all of us. For me and other Westerners, these moments of sharing in faith are especially precious because it is so difficult to speak of Guru in the West, so hard to express unabashed devotion, so culturally unacceptable to speak of the yearning to surrender to another being. But now, as we are gathered on Dada's porch with Maharajji in our hearts, it is as if we are not just speaking about Maharajji, he is here with us. Maharajji once said, When anyone thinks of me, I am with him, and so he is. The moment itself is his darshan, and our faith he allows us through his eyes a aspect of what he sees, the exquisite wave of Maya, the dream that we call life. He allows us to taste of his peace within, while at the same moment he is buffeting us with the winds of chaos. We are ecstatic, we are confused, and we ask ourselves rhetorically, who can understand the ways of the Guru? Dada begins another story. We have all heard it many times before, yet we know that this time we may hear something new. For who we are at this moment is new to the story, and in this newness is another whisper, another touch of the divine. Dada is recognized as one of the devotees who has been closest to Maharajji. Their relationship has been so intimate for so long that we treasure Dada's stories about his Baba as especially precious. He is our elder brother in Maharajji's spiritual family. This man we know as Dada also has been Professor Sudhir Mukherjee, a professor of economics at the highly regarded Allahabad University. He edited a prestigious economics journal, was a political activist, delighted in ideological discussions with his many intellectual friends. He was a responsible family man whose household included his wife, Didi, his mother and aunt, and his brother and nephew. While he had grown up in a religious culture and family, he, unlike the women, had little interest or time for spiritual matters. And then into his life stepped Maharajji, a barefoot sadhu wearing only a dhoti. He moved right into Dada's home uninvited. Initially, Dada was kind and courteous, as you might expect, though skeptical, as befitting his role as a scholar. But his intellect found itself no to be of no match for his intuitive heart, through which he came to treasure Maharajji and acknowledge him as nothing short of God in form. Dada had been offered a ringside seat at the play of the Lord, and the price of admission had been giving up who he had been. Whatever Dada did, it involved a remarkable degree of surrender. For by the time I met him, the transformation seemed complete. There was no sign of the professor, there was only Dada. Maharajji had said to him, "You are mine," and so he is. As I listen to him speak in the darkness, I think back to when I first became aware of Dada. The circumstances under which we met were so extraordinary that I remember them vividly all those years. The meeting occurred in early 1971. I was sitting on the floor in Dada's home in Allahabad with 33 Westerners, and I was very confused by how we had come to be there. I had returned to India several months previously and started to search for Maharajji, but he was not always so easy to find. When I had exhausted the obvious possibilities, I decided to enroll in some meditation courses in Bodh Gaya, the place where the Buddha had become enlightened under the Bodhi tree. After almost 40 days of practice, I felt the need for a change and decided to accept an invitation to Sivratri celebration, night to worship Shiva, the Absolute, in New Delhi. A member of other Westerners who had been at the course decided to join me, and boarding a friend's bus, we set out. The route to Delhi took us through Allahabad, a stately old city with wide, tree lined thoroughfares and a fine university. But Allahabad was best known for the Prayag, the confluence of two of India's most sacred rivers, the Ganges and the Jamuna, with a third spiritual river, the Saraswati, coming up to join them from underground. For a Hindu, it is most auspicious for this life and afterlives to bathe where the rivers join, and particularly auspicious at certain moments determined by the position of the stars and planets. At these perfect times, many millions of the holy and pious come to Allahabad for the Mela, a month long religious gathering where people camp on the banks of the rivers and bathe at the appropriate moments. When we arrived when we arrived in Allahabad, one of these auspicious moments had recently passed. A member of our traveling group had been at the Mela and suggested we take a few minutes detour to stop at the place where the rivers meet. It was already late afternoon on our first day out of meditation. We were all tired and still had some miles to go before arriving at our lodgings for the night. I, as the elder in the group, opted that we not stop but go on. But then I began to feel that decision was not appropriate. After all, we were in India on a spiritual pilgrimage from the West, and this spot was among the most sacred in India. A little fatigue should not deter us. I changed my mind and I asked the driver to make the detour so we could watch the sunset at Mela grounds. When we arrived at that area, it was all but deserted, a vast sandy campground with the river in the distance. The driver asked where he should park the bus. The fellow in our party who had visited the Mela and brought us some medallions of Hanuman suggested that we pull up near the Hanuman temple. Just as the bus was coming to a stop, another member of our party shouted, "There is Maharaj Ji."